Education faces changes and challenges, like we're saying, and colleges across the country are seeing these changes both in terms of finances and technology. Northern News Now's Ella Schoberl shares what issues are rising to the top for educational leaders.
A panel gathered at UMD's Weber Music Hall to discuss the future of higher education. The conversation touched upon heavy topics, including artificial intelligence, rising tuition costs, and how to provide the best education possible for students. Almost 100 people listened to the conversations on the current climate of college campuses, including UMD Associate Dean Aaron Sheets.
We're in a unique and challenging time with respect to the federal landscape and the state landscape.
The three panelists addressed current national changes, including rising tuition costs and budget cuts.
And that is going to be a structural shift that we really are going to have to pay attention to if we want to continue to commit to all students having the opportunity to attend college.
Last year alone, the University of Minnesota system was hit with a 3% budget cut on top of a loss of $22 million in federal grants. This resulted in a 6.5% tuition increase for students. Even with changing resources, the panel emphasized helping students prepare for the future, which they said includes the integration of AI.
As our students graduate, if they are not AI fluent, they are not competitive for jobs.
Research shows that the use of AI in the workplace has doubled in the last 2 years to 40%. While AI continues to grow every day, both students and faculty are learning to integrate it with curriculum.
These are tools. They're not a substitute for a human being.
Following the panel, UMD hosted a campus-wide celebration to mark the inauguration of Chancellor Charles Neese. In Duluth, Ella Schoberl, Northern News Now.
There was also tuition changes in Wisconsin this year with a 4% tuition increase across all of University of Wisconsin campuses. Still